Hello, and hi. Welcome to Tomorrow Today, a space for young people, thinkers, dreamers, and most importantly, disruptors. My name is Bridget Ciele, and I am your host. But like I said, I will never be alone. I'm here joined with.
Hello, Dumelang. My name is Tutleho Abram, and I'm excited for this conversation. I'll be the co-host of this program.
Great, thank you. This conversation is going to be very, very special. I think I'm so excited for it and looking over at the past events of the 2 weeks. Is it 2 to 3 weeks?
2 to 3 weeks, basically. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot has happened.
And we invited a young man who I feel like needs to be here today, looking over to his interactions online. I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello everyone. My name is Mbauko Utluang, and I'm an aspiring thought leader. But as for Botswana, who am I really? You can never really know how to answer that one. As for who I am, I believe it will be answered bestly ko Pitonya. Mekana gitenya but you found out who a person is really ko Pitonya.
Yeah.
Yes, and I must say I love what you guys are doing here. I've watched your previous episodes and I enjoyed them, and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, and we are so happy to have you joining us here. Hora hore. You are really aligned to being a thought leader. But just to jump into everything, guys, we are currently witnessing the emergence of youth participation. And I don't think this is just emergence, but the evolution of it. Things are changing and it's happening in front of our eyes. I think this is why even the people on this table, ile banana, right? So this conversation aims not only to reflect on the current moment, but to also interrogate the long-term implications of the things that have been happening around us. And I think they brought so much attention. Right? 2024, Matuke, that's what they call us on the streets. We're like getting attention. People were clapping for us. But I think this year, Botswana ko gae ba re roletse dihutsehatsi. Right? Are you proud to be a 2K?
I am. I'm proud to be a 2K. I mean, if you look at right from the general elections, even the president himself has admitted that the people who voted for them, majority of them was the youth.
Yes.
And if you look at what is happening right now, the people who are mostly active in terms of holding government accountable, who are fighting for change in certain things about society and all that, it is the youth who are at the forefront of that. So I am proud to be a 2K.
You know, Bombako, one thing that he does all the time is stay on top of the news. And that is very good for a young member in Botswana to be actually not just getting on the wave, but taking time to research, to dig deeper than the surface level of the current issues. How do you make sure that you're always on top of the current affairs?
I'm a student of public administration myself. And as for how do I make sure where I'm at the top, I'm well informed. I'm one person who is always in touch with their lecturers. I make sure that every day after class, I have conversations with the lecturers. And on today's topic, I would say it's close to my heart. Youth participation is relevant, and going forward, we need more of it. And I would also say that it started Helaka 2024 in the general elections, like Abraham he is saying. Yes. And Botswana, just, basics. Botswana is a democracy. For the longest time, we've enjoyed the democracy. And in a democracy, you all know that it's rule of the people, by the people, for the people, right? And whenever a certain part of a population feels that they are treated unfairly, unequally, they have every right to protest, right? To revolt and seek revolution. And it could be disabled people, it could be women, it could be old people, and youth mostly. And age has a really huge role to play here. The youth are very agile. We're agile mentally, physically, and politically, and therefore the you know baholo haba haribua barit, and therefore in our revolt, in our our participation, in our way of seeking reform, we speak for a lot of the population. We speak for the working class. We speak for your
University students.
Yeah, your university students, the people that play the minor role in the economy. I'm talking about the Mosad Yuri Kisanku Koko station. We speak for everyone.
Yeah, I like what you're saying, man. I think, but I want to understand something.
Yeah.
You talk about how we youth are seeking a revolution and all that, but this thing is just starting now. Like things have not been as they are now. There was a time where we wouldn't really do that. I mean, that lady who used to be in BNF, Petrol Bomb. Resego,
yes.
Yeah.
I used to love her so much.
Those were the people that we knew. Tumelo Lekase, the current president of BNF Youth League. Those are the guys and you'd find instances where people run away and all that. But I was actually impressed this time around, even when police came. Everyone remained there. Like whatever it is that is happening, we're going to be here and we're going to fight for this thing until we get what we want to get. I don't know, man. Is there, what exactly has changed? What is it that motivates us now to remain even when we are facing police threat? When back in the days, if someone like Muruti Tusetie would call and organize a strike and then police comes, he remains alone, everyone leaves him there. You understand?
I think it all goes down to, okay, first of all, I just want to say our generation is built different. That's one thing that we have to take note of.
Gen Z.
We are built different, even in the corporate space. Before we go into the political landscape, how they interact with batho ba le mo ditirong, how they don't back down, how they don't settle for go gatakiwa in the workspace. I think normally we hear the news, it's so hard to work with young people because they're so adamant and all of those things.
Yeah.
So it goes down to even the character ya banana right now. And I think we've seen how staying back and not actually pushing leads us to nowhere.
Yeah.
The generations that came have tried to do strikes, but nothing came out of it. So if we decide out today that we are going to protest, and then nothing comes out of it, we are just failing the coming generations the same way we have been failed by the other ones. So I think it just comes from a point of, this is what happened, that is it 2011?
Yeah, 2011.
2011, right. Now, it's 2026. We are going to fight for what's ours.
Yeah.
And we are going to make sure, because they were saying it direct, that this time we are not going back. We are going to live here. Because looking over at the recent strike, the last one that was organized by the youth, the GBV one, they even refused when the relevant stakeholders came to them. But no, that's not what we want. We want it to be done here. So you see the way Bakanan, the simple things, they don't want you to come to them. If they plant that this is what they're going to do, that's what they're going to do. And they stick to it.
And I think that's a very important thing. Hey?
Yeah.
It's a very important thing that in making a plan as to how you intend to do things, if you allow a bit of a detail of that plan to suffer, the whole plan suffers.
The whole plan suffers.
So I'm really impressed about that when the police came and said, no, you're going to remain here, and even the leaders came, I think Lesego Chombo came, the VP came, Stephen Modise came.
True.
But they still said, no, we intend to march to parliament with this thing. We're not going to remain here because you guys came for us here. Our intention was that we are going to parliament, and whether you like it or not, we are going to go there. And they even joined them and went and walked with them to parliament. So I really admired that resilience and the courage, the commitment to we have a plan, we're going to stick by it, regardless of who comes and says what.
Comes and
It was a beautiful moment, man.
Yeah. And I think also for the longest time, we've had a perceived silence. We were thought to be silenced, and we were actually not silenced. There's many ways of understanding why were we silent. One of most swanning ha meti a ela. A hodimo o ka ra eme. Me ha tlase a ela ebile a ela le ka boheo. Now relating it to this topic, I'm going to say that perhaps it was not the right time. Perhaps we didn't have the right platforms, institutional platforms, and there was, cultural play at some point that maybe, for example, I would say the Khota. We know that mo Khoteng, go bua borre, banana basadi, they don't really say a lot. Ha bua ebile o bua eng ke ngwana akere. So that is how you see there's a limit within the institutional systems, and also on it was not the right time. For the longest time, Botswana has enjoyed economic prosperity. Everyone was living comfortably. We could afford even the basic necessities. Our parents could afford to take care of us. And now that we are feeling the heat, we feel there is a need for us now to start to talk. In South Africa during the apartheid era, it was the right time for the youth to strike. Bane Basha, they felt it. And Runa, our time is now. Yes.
It's our time, man. It's our time. I like the issue that you spoke on, that in institutions, systems and all that, that ngwana yo bua nthata gote ga twe urling. There's a Botswana saying that ngwana tsona go balabala, those type of things. That lines around those things, But I think I love the fact that we're not allowing those things to put us down. And we need to get and get to a point where our parents or our elders in society understand that any conversation about the future of a society that happens devoid the presence of the youth is an illegitimate conversation. Because you can't have conversations about the future of a society when we, the youth, are not there to participate in that conversation. So I really like how things are coming up in our country, and it's a very beautiful moment. But I want to invoke another conversation about this whole thing. When this first strike came up, we saw youth from the BDP, youth from the UDC, youth from the BCP coming together.
You know, that moment, I was really proud of them. To be honest,
it was a beautiful
I
one.
think it was a beautiful. I think both of us were so impressed by that,
super.
because it takes a lot to tolerate someone from another party and to come together. Politics itself, the whole game, first of all, is pride and ego.
Exactly.
Right. And as an opposition member, to come and work with your leader,
different
right?
ideology.
It takes a whole lot. But in that moment, I saw that these people are not fighting. Now it's not longer about the colors. It's about what's happening. What's affecting them.
There was actually a picture of a girl who was wearing a UDC t-shirt and holding a BDP flag.
That's
was
when,
a nice picture, man.
I really, I think the whole time when I was seeing the people striking, I can't go that day, but that moment really touched me. I was like, because I think the first conversation we had, we actually talked about putting party colors aside when it comes to issues that affect Rona and Botswana. If it comes to an issue of low allowance, right? Like BDP, UDC, because now when I come with my party color, I'm going to be biased.
Right?
Exactly. And those people put aside everything, even the way they were engaging with one another. No one stood, they were giving one another a chance to advocate,
Exactly.
standing for
Yes.
everyone. They were coming for everyone. Looking at how universities is from every background, right? And they were representing that,
Yeah.
which was really truly impressive. But you'd say UB students impressed
It
me.
was a very beautiful moment.
And,
They genuinely did impress me.
Yeah.
And I think that also should be a lesson to
Yeah.
because sometimes you find someone afraid to say their opinion because they think that, oh no, I am not going to say this because I'm of this party color. I'm not going to say this because I'm for this party color. But at the end of the day, whatever it is that's happening, whoever comes, whether pink, blue, red, yellow,
Yeah.
purple,
Yeah.
it's going to affect us.
Exactly.
So whatever you are keeping in Moteng or no, and I'm not going to say anything, even if I am catching the fire, I'm going to keep quiet. It's going to affect you at
He's
the
going
end
to.
of the day.
He's going to. Yeah.
issues of welfare really affect us all. And what I like about it is that no one took to the stance that I own the strike. I
Eh.
initiated it. We all came together.
Yeah.
Yes, and the gentleman, I don't know if I'm allowed to mention names, but Neville Chele
Yeah.
of the GS26 from BDP.
Yeah.
I really love the gentleman, and I hope in the upcoming UB elections the people choose him.
I
Yes.
think even afterwards, like the next day, they had a media interaction where they
Yeah.
were together.
Yeah.
And even then, they were just still talking about the people.
Yeah.
Yoro were not, okay, no, but these people, yes, they are representing different colors, but the main goal,
Exactly.
ke banana.
Yeah. No, it was a good thing, man. the UDC guy's name, I know the name Terminator.
I just know him as
Yeah,
Terminator.
I know him
as
as
well. I don't know
Terminator,
his
yeah.
like real name.
I liked it how him and Neville and the BCP guy were giving each other a chance to speak and represent, the collective voice of the youth when they were speaking to the leaders there.
Yeah, that was true. That was such a nice moment.
And this invokes then something about issues of multi-party politics. I don't know, man. In the light of what has happened, seeing people coming together and putting a political party affiliation aside,
Yeah.
do you think that democratic or multi-party politics, to some extent, is contributing towards not making it as a society?
I think so.
I also
How
think
then
so.
do we navigate it?
Because like let's be real. Okay? If something happens and you are let's say for a certain party, and then this is not right. This leader, my leader is not doing something right. Trust me, you're not gonna say anything.
Yeah.
You're still going to vouch and be for that man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that on its own limits our growth because we're not gonna go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm one person who thinks we should do away with bureaucracy, technocracy, and a whole lot of technical stuff.
Yeah.
And part of it is within democracy. This is going to be controversial, but sometimes I think we should do away with democracy. We should perhaps. I do agree with you. I'm sure you know Ibrahim Traore.
Yeah.
He's the leader of Burkina Faso. He has mentioned that Africans should do away with democracy. We should look into maybe dictatorship, because with those kind of systems, it's swift, it's quick, decisions are made instantly and action is taken thoroughly. Yes.
I don't want us to be too technical,
Yeah.
but this is now saying to me, I don't want to believe that democracy equates multi-party politics. I don't want to believe that the limitations of the definition of democracy is expressed in the realization or using a system of multi-party politics. I want to believe that democracy speaks to something more than that.
Yes,
Right?
I do agree.
You know,
Maybe
Dr.
if we
Hoyi,
can challenge that segment of multi-party politics.
I think Tlotlawa genuinely doesn't want parties anymore. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't want parties.
Yeah.
I think Olapi.
I'm tired, man. Like,
because I think people nowadays, because I was looking at a comment more, there's the Julius Malema case,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So one of the comments was like, politicians are just politicians, right? And I think that's the current mindset of people,
Yeah.
not just in Botswana, but
Yeah.
everywhere. And Botswana, it's hitting us now because it's the first time we are changing parties. So we are now seeing how it is and
Yeah.
how seeing everything is. So now everyone is like, this whole
Yeah.
party thing is not working for us.
It's not
Let's
working
just
for us,
change.
yeah.
And Milo and Ahela, you don't want it anymore.
No, my chat is so. Look, I'm all about being progressive,
Yes.
right? If we've used the system for a long time and the system has not been serving us, right? What's the point of continuing with it? I was actually having a conversation with a certain gentleman. He's a lawyer, actually a very close friend to the president, and he had written on his status about how he's not happy with the decision of Ibrahim Traore to ban political parties. Because remember, he did ban political parties in Burkina Faso. And to a certain extent, now I was happy about it. Because I was like, I mean, the country is doing well, the country is being progressive, things are happening there.
Exactly.
Miro now who are saying we have political parties and all those things, nothing is happening. Right?
Yeah.
Nothing is happening. So what's the point of us saying democracy, 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 and us defining democracy in the context of multi-party politics, and yet there's nothing coming out of it.
Yes.
Like was crying the same cry that our parents were crying before.
Exactly.
You understand? So then you wonder, what has been happening all along, right? What has been happening all along? People occupying positions, using a certain system or which we equate to democracy, but that system is not working for us. What is the point of us continuing with it? And I was listening to a certain gentleman from Zimbabwe, his name is Joshua Maponga. He says, Africa needs dictators who dictate the right things.
The right
Actually,
things.
the president did quote him. Dumaboko did quote something like that.
Is it the BNF Congress?
Yeah,
sorry.
he says that many times.
Many
They said that in different occasions, in quoting that
I
statement,
heard
that
that
we
for
need
the
people
Congress.
who dictate the right things for this continent. you know
Yes.
what? So I think that's why now I am tired. That what I'm crying about today is the very same thing that my mother and my father cried about in 2011.
Exactly.
Something that their parents cried about back in 1966 or whenever they were crying. You understand? That is my context of this complaint against multi-party politics.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and there is no political will also, and there is no administrative will, and all of it is from, I'd say, is from our past democratic leaders. I think they also owe it to us of why we're here as a country. Why is Botswana still not diversified, even up to this point?
Yeah.
You speak of progression.
Yeah.
You know, there has been no progression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very sad thing, man. It's a very sad thing. And that's why I'm saying that, maybe we need to look into our system and see, one thing about multi-party politics, again, that I've realized. So I overthink about these things a lot, right? I think a lot about these things. Is one of the things that I feel makes us so vulnerable to the manipulation that comes from these imperialist countries, where you'd hear that country is captured by the imperialist state, USA, the former colonizer Britain and France and all those things.
Yes.
Part of it is this thing of multi-party politics.
True.
Part of it is this thing.
Yes.
One of the things that makes us so vulnerable to manipulation is this thing of party, because I carry that country or someone from that country will be coming in to fund this one. And then when this one is funded, he has ability to win elections because now he's resourceful. He wins elections. Now the country is being owned by the kingmaker. Who is the kingmaker? The very guy who funded him.
Yeah.
So you understand? So that's why I'm saying maybe we need to rethink it in a way that I'm not saying let's deal away with democracy. I think we need to come to a point where we define what democracy is in the context of Botswana. If I'm to ask a question, what is democracy in the context of Botswana? Or just what is democracy? Someone is going to start giving me Abraham Lincoln's definition that government of the people, by the people, for the people.
Yes.
That was Abraham Lincoln's definition back then in the context of the people of USA. For those people there, it may be accurate, but in it being accurate, is it something that relates well to us? Is it a definition that can be able to decentralize to the lived realities of our people
Of
here
Botswana.
in Botswana? So I'm saying we need to then come up with that definition of democracy, which then serves as a depiction of what Botswana will be as a democratic country. Something that we own. So a lot of these terms that we function with, we don't even have definition for those things.
Yeah.
We
We're
don't know
just
what it
riding on them
what
because it's
exactly.
happening.
We
Yeah.
don't know what peace is in the context of Botswana. We don't know what democracy is in the context of Botswana. So that's what I'm saying. We need to look at these things and begin to define them in our context. Why? Because they speak to our consciousness. If we are not a people who are conscious, when we are not politically woke, then it means that we're using other people's definitions and political ideologies
Yes.
and imposing them to our situations, and we are not able to ourselves define our problems and come up with solutions and ideologies that are ours.
Exactly.
You understand? So that is basically my argument in this whole matter. Yeah.
So speaking about being politically woke, I think now it just drives me to youth. Right. Do you think okay, well, let's just start here. What do you think youth participation, meaningful youth participation looks like?
Could you answer it, or you want to take it?
You can take it, man. Yeah.
To answer it, I think meaningful youth participation within the context of Botswana and also going forward.
Yeah.
I think we're going to me, meaningful youth participation is a landscape where the youth now are the policy actors. They are not just
that's-
beneficiaries of the policy.
Exactly.
Yes, and it's youth led. And what I would like to see in Botswana, going forward, I think is a situation where we call our government to the table, because we've seen that in the past we've had them come to us with decisions they've already made and also in the name of consultation to say that we are here, please reason with us as we want to take action. And we will voice out our solutions, our ideas, our opinions, but at the end of the day, are they put into consideration? Are we seeing them play a role in implementation of policies? So to me, participation is us being actors also in the
Talking
case.
about actors, I think one thing that I would genuinely applaud the current youth is how they've expanded political participation.
Yeah.
It's no longer waiting for the next election.
Yeah.
It's beyond the ballot,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Now we see the digital engagement and activism. Even Banana starting new organizations. There is an organization that I do know that does this one where they do activism when it comes to elections,
Yeah.
etc., etc. So expanding the political participation beyond
Yes.
it
Yes.
doesn't end there,
It doesn't end
right?
there, yeah.
Digital engagement. What are you saying online?
Yeah.
What are you saying about certain issues? Are you engaging with the leaders? Because the leaders are actually online now.
Yeah.
These days, the leaders are online.
Very.
But are we engaging them with the right things?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you'll find out that a leader is online, yes, they're posting, but all you're doing is just commenting and liking so that maybe you are part of the favorites or something.
Yeah.
Gone mo posting ya gagwe, ask him about this, right? When they're posting a selfie, I look at parliament, I'm not
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even us starting digital digital protests,
Yeah.
right? Because there is one petition that really got many numbers, but it's all because of social media. We are always on our phones, right?
Yeah.
So let political participation, certain issues, let's make sure that because one thing also, the media. Hey, sometimes propaganda, guys,
Exactly.
propaganda. People are
Exactly.
pushing propaganda online.
Yeah.
But let's make sure that we get to learn and make use of the right resources. Okay, no, but if this is happening, let's not follow propaganda.
Yes.
This is true.
Exactly.
So that we're actually woke, like he's saying. Because
Yeah.
if we don't wake up ourselves, trust me,
Yeah.
we are going to suffer.
We need to be woke. We need to be woke. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about this issue of being woke. And then talking about it, one of the things that we mentioned was we're going to have to start investing a lot on political education.
Yes, true.
Yes.
So that we work to eliminate this thing of some of our youth giving themselves to ideas because that idea is the one that is driving the protest.
Yes.
Understand? I want to believe some people were just participating in that strike just nje.
It's
Yes.
catchy.
Because
Yeah.
because it was catchy and all that.
Yeah.
They don't understand the implications of that. I mean, even after the 2.2 announcement and all that, yes, everyone is happy and everything. But I think woke then goes to what is the real implication of this? What is the implication of and you know what? It goes to also to us being strategic about the protests themselves.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that worried me was when we have a strike, we need to be calculative in terms of when to have another strike.
Yes.
When to have another strike.
Yes.
Because when you are using a certain model of operation, kantele, it loses its ability to be effective.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm not saying it was wrong to have these strikes. The first two were actually very good.
Yeah, because I was actually about to talk about the other one that happened this week. Hore.
Yeah.
No attention was brought to. Was it yesterday?
I don't know about the
2
day
to
exactly.
3 days
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, internship.
But, but no attention was brought to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because now it's like, every week was striking.
Yeah. So we need to get to that point of and being very calculative and very strategic about how we organize ourselves, about how we operate in these things, because we don't want to find ourselves striking, and then everyone is like, that's the usual business in Botswana.
Yeah.
Right. Every week something needs to come up.
Yeah,
in a
yeah.
strike. Yeah.
And also,
Also- okay.
when you say being strategic, I think also it speaks to the fact that we don't want to find ourselves in performative strikes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they really do. They don't do a lot. Speaking of real change,
Yeah.
do they really instill real change and real impact? Because at the end of the day, they are forgotten after a month. And what policy changes have been made? None. And I like movements that really come with true intention. You see the lady who are Justice for TP, I don't know her name,
Yeah.
but
Kemi.
Kemi, that girl is, she's a bomb,
She's
you know.
a fighter.
She's a fighter. She
Was a
doesn't
lady.
give up.
Yeah.
Yes. And this will go on to influence even future policies around GBV. It will go on to change how certain sentences are done in courts, about GBV
Yeah.
and domestic violence. That is real change.
Yeah, we must give her the credit, man. I mean, she did a very beautiful work. That was a very powerful thing for a lady to organize such a thing. She actually reminded me of Winnie Mandela. There was a time where she was making demands. And I was like, yo, this person is very radical, man. Radical
No,
for a lady.
I
Yeah.
genuinely liked it because she wasn't. The fight has been going on for so long.
For so long,
If I
yeah.
do remember, she said 10 months.
Yeah.
But Akanya, after 10 months, they're still not losing hope. They're still going on and on
Exactly.
and on. I think that's really commendable for them.
Yes.
But just like a quick question before we wrap it up.
Yeah.
Do you think we are currently seeing a temporary wave of activism? Or it's something that we can say it's going to be long term? Because I'd like to believe that it started recently, even the protests. But do you think it's just the wave or okay, no sharp, let's just ride this while we can still be had?
You see, the longevity of it is entirely dependent on us as a youth, as to what type of a society do you want to build?
Okay.
My belief is that we should not allow it to be a temporary thing. It entirely goes back to what I said. See, political education is a very important thing.
Exactly.
It's important in the sense that it will help us to, you see, the issue of being strategic and being calculative and us being able to navigate how we organize ourselves, right? So we then need to get to a point where we don't just show up when we have something to go and complain against. We also show up even for ourselves in the sense that we organize ourselves, find what is necessary for us to be empowered, to be well politically woke so that we can know when to respond and how to respond in a way that will be effective. So the wave that we are seeing right now, if it dies, we are to take the blame for it.
Yes.
If it continues, then it will continue because we made an effort to make sure that it doesn't die. So the government knows that in every bit of its decisions, any action, any information that it passes, it will be one that we're going to hold them accountable for.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And it shouldn't be a thing of now and in the future it stops. Reboni hore, when we take action, our government reacts. It starts acting. They want to, answer to our problems. And now that we're also in a human rights government, our president himself is an advocate of human rights.
Yeah.
And when he came in, he mentioned that you can protest. If you, however you feel, you can fully protest.
Yeah.
And in the BDP regime, I'd say people, yeah, I can say that people we were really silenced.
Okay, I think generally speaking, I'll forever be proud of this generation and what they are doing, but also I think it's something that should carry on.
Yes.
We should also not think it's going to end there.
Yeah.
As we are demanding, let's make sure that we follow up.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to say, I get it's not the first time they're saying they will do it, right?
Yeah.
Everyone who is voted into power has said they will do something. Even after we protest, we have to make sure that we do hold them accountable and we organize beyond such protests.
Yes.
Because other things are very timely and are needed currently. Like he's saying, political education and civic education. So those are the things that I also feel like we should, for meaningful youth participation in politics and such cases have to happen. So another thing, Hela, when we started, the intro was like, we are disruptors. I never thought at one point we will be witnessing protest after protest. We are not here to be witnesses. We're not here to just lay back and expect things to be handed over to us, right?
Yeah.
We are really, truly disruptors.
Yeah.
And I think I'm genuinely proud of my 2K.
Yeah.
But that is it for today. I think we touched on everything that we wanted to talk about.
Yes.
There is so much that we can say when it comes to youth of Botswana and their active rise in youth politics. And we do appreciate the people who try by all means to take it to Botswana Kolapeng using all platforms. Some do organize protests. Others like Mbako online every day, recording, updating us on current affairs. And we have gentlemen like Tlotlego who are here serving as hosts for such spaces, right? Thank you so much once again for your time, Mbako. We genuinely do appreciate you.
So much,
And the nuggets of wisdom that you gave here. It was such a beautiful conversation. I think I enjoyed it.
Yeah, very much.
Yes,
very much.
I'm very glad. And I hope the youth have heard. And if I were to be asked, what kind of Botswana do I want? The kind of Botswana that I want is where everyone is given an opportunity to better themselves and to be the best they can.
Exactly.
And then the inequality would be justifiable.
Yes.
And therefore, we should all be equal.
Alright.
Thank you so much.
That is all that we had for you guys today. It was such an amazing conversation. I did enjoy it. Like I said, I will never stop saying this because I did enjoy. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any other conversation that you guys would like us to have, please comment down below, because remember, this is not our space. It is your space as youth watching. Thank you and bye.